Who are we in Christ? The metaphor we read in John 15 and here in Psalm 80, verse 14, is that we are his wine. Psalm 80, verses 14 to 16 reads, "Turn again, O God of hosts, look down from heaven and see. Have regard for this wine, the stock that your right hand planted." We should be encouraged as the vine is a choice plant that requires much attention, and so we are the vine of the Lord, and so were the Israelites, in need of God's providential care to survive and to bear fruit. The grapevine is a plant that is treated with fastidious and tender care, with expectation that its fruit will benefit many. Was this not precisely the purpose of the nation of Israel? God so planted us, his people in this world, to be fruitful to the glory of God. It is this fruitfulness that the singer and songwriter Asaph desired. He desires the Lord to so work in the nation that she will bear fruit to God's glory, but this will require the divine dresser to return to his vine to restore it to fruitfulness. Gracious grapes is a psalmist's desire. God planted this vine so that the nations would one day drink the wine of his glory and of his gospel. The psalmist recounts their privileged selection. Psalm 80, verse 8 to 9 reads, "You brought a vine out of Egypt. You drove the nations and planted it. You cleared the ground for it. It took deep root and filled the land." In fulfillment of the Josephine blessing, the vine grew so abundantly that it grew over the wall. Genesis 49, verse 22 reads, "Joseph is a fruitful bough by a spring. His branches run over the wall." The Lord grew her roots so deep that his providential care caused her to grow beyond anyone's expectations, as Israel became so blessed indeed. So the psalmist is recording this history to press home Israel's great privilege and therefore their great responsibility. Like the nation of Israel, it's time for us as well to pause to remember our gracious privileges. Meditate on scriptures. Reflect on where God has brought us from and where you presently are. Contemplate his power. Consider deeply where he has planted you and me. As Christians, we should never minimize God's grace in planting us in Christ. You and I have a great purpose. That purpose should drive our loyalties and therefore our living. Kidner helpfully and hopefully comments, he is not the one to begin a great work and lose interest in us. As Paul puts it, he who has begun a good work in you will complete it until the day of Jesus Christ. Philippians 1 verse 6. So don't lose hope and wake up to your responsibility of being a fruitful vine in his vineyard. Be blessed.